OTAs for the Saints in full swing. Michael Thomas is back. And why is Dennis Allen afraid of Hard Knocks? Thomas, hit that intro.
Welcome to the award-winning Saints Happy Hour podcast. Seriously, this podcast has won awards. American standards are dropping every day. The show features Ralph, the best host in the world, who can barely pronounce his own name, much less anyone else's.
Marcus Callaway.
Dave is that dude who loves taking bathroom breaks. He's mad about almost anything, so make sure to lower your volume when he speaks.
Put that freaking clown meme back up that I made. Jesus Christ.
Andrew has sources, watches tapes, and knows football. He rarely shows up on time and wants to commit crimes to help the Saints win.
Sean Payton would have done illegal things. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because you know it's true.
Oh, and there's also Kevin, who is great at doing mock drafts, but struggles to actually watch Saints games or have a functioning relationship.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Anyway, grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy the insanity.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. We are live on Twitch. If you aren't, follow us on Twitch, and remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. Smash that like button on YouTube. Also, become an annual patron at patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour and get 2 months for free. Annual patrons get a special welcome gift of our Saints season survival mug. Get one before we run out. Our off-season MVP contest is underway and going gangbusters. You ever wanted to be on the main show and tell Kevin to shut up and stop eating food? Or do you enjoy Dave's bathroom breaks? Or do you want to grill Andrew about his sauces? Now you can. People who donate the most each week get entered into our drawing to sit in with us on the main show. And if we reach $100 in donations tonight, the MVP will choose which minibar bottle from my gigantic minibar booze collection I'm going to poison myself with. That's right. You get to pick the poison. The catch is some of these are almost 20 years old. And hey, if patrons want to send me minibar bottles, my DMs are open. The Discord DMs are open. This one from Nikolai Underberg. It says, "Take after a good meal, used for flavoring," and it has in large letters on the back, Andrew, "Do not sip. Drink all at once. Strong aroma." I'm afraid of that one. of that one. And then we have this one, Largo Bay, which pineapple rum, it isn't that frightening. But the thing was, when I got it out, Selly, my wife, can't drink that. I said, why? She's like, that is from your sister's house when you lived at your sister's house when she was in Korea before we moved here. So that means
Why do you always do that? It's not like liquor ages fine. It's not like we're talking about raw oysters here.
I mean, it's from 2000.
I mean, some liquor from 10 years ago, whatever. Like liquor keeps. Like you make that sound like it's like
might
extra
be.
horrible.
You don't. This liquor, it might
There's
be.
wines from like the 70s that taste better now than they ever have.
This might be purchased before Tracy Porter had the interception of Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you say it's no big deal, but it's not. You're not the one drinking it on an empty stomach. I didn't.
When you put it like that in Saints terms, it does feel pretty old.
I mean, it feels old. I'm just saying. Thomas, do we have an MVP leader?
Oh yeah, Chad M won last week with 2,400 bits, and the podcast already started. Hatchet John is the MVP leader with 1K bits, and also thanks to Tiger Saint for 300 bits.
Oh, nice. And I want to remind
you guys better donate more than that if you want Ralph to drink that trash he just flashed at you.
Speaking of which,
what?
There's another 300 bits donation from Tiger Saint.
Thank you, Tiger Saint. And by the way, anybody who donates any amount gets entered into a drawing to get one of our crew to taste some cups before they disappear forever. What are we drinking tonight? Besides maybe the Underberg and Largo Bay pineapple rum, I'm drinking the High Life Pony. Andrew, are you drinking anything tonight?
Well, I'm done drinking, but earlier tonight, I have this recipe that's raspberry martini, and it's a shot. It's a shot of lemon juice, a shot of vodka. I did Tito's and Skull.
Oh,
I did each one of each, but you can do any vodka of your choosing, and then about half a shot of simple syrup. Mix it with ice and muddled raspberries, and you have your raspberry martini.
There you go, Kevin. Are you,
It's my wife's favorite. My wife.
are you drinking anything with your dinner, Kevin?
Just some water. Just some
No throat coat.
water and a little bit of what the? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What do you call that stuff that you give babies?
Formula.
Baby
No,
formula?
no.
Infamil?
Not formula. It's
Infamil?
like flavored water.
Benadryl for flights where they knock them out.
Oh,
cold.
Pedialyte.
Yeah,
Pedialyte,
it's like
Pedialyte.
It's not Pedialyte specifically, but it's like generic Pedialyte. I add a little bit of that to my water just so I'm getting like more.
little flavor.
Electrolytes.
Did you also throw a sachet of throat coat in there?
No, I think I've run out of throat coat. The next time I go to the grocery store, I got to pick some up.
Oh, that's nice. I feel like Kevin throwing the Pedialyte in there. I was waiting for him to say like, I throw Crystal Light, and then when I go to the beach with the girls, I have something to flavor my water.
No, Ralph, it's far worse.
Katie, he definitely said that in the 1980s.
That's right. So, the Saints actually made some news today. OTAs continued. No one was injured. No one died. No one got arrested. That's good. So far, it's a great summer for the Saints. The only news that matters today was, we'll start here. Michael Thomas is alive. He even talked to the media today, but we might have to body shame him. It's Thomas. Play that sound of Michael Thomas.
What's your timetable and how do you feel? Are you on the recovery path you expected?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. We're going for training camp. We're going to be ready for training camp first day one. Out there with the team, ready to go, full speed, just like the old days and what everyone's used to.
He's ready to go, Andrew, but he looks a little thick. I don't want to body shame anybody, but I'm worried.
I mean,
How are you able to make that assessment?
I make that.
He looks a little bit in the face. He looks like he could lose a good 8 pounds, 8 to 12
I mean, he
pounds.
used to look slender and sexy and just like always like.
But I
perfect.
mean, look. First of all, a guy that breaks his toe, can't run, can't do legs and cardio. I mean, that's the first thing that goes. And those guys are used to eating 4,000 to 6,000 calories a day, and so when they're not exercising, they probably still do that. But I mean, look, I think he probably should. He's got 7 weeks till training camp. He can probably shed that pretty quickly.
Kevin,
but yeah, no, good to see him moving around, right? Like just showing up, getting a little chemistry with Carr.
Good. I thought it was the chemistry with Carr, but Kevin, just the fact that he feels good enough about where he's going to like meet with the media. That to me is a good sign because I don't remember him last year at all in OTAs meeting with the media before training camp.
Right. I was going to ask that because I don't recall that either. I mean,
it feels good.
It's a good sign. Smo says in the chat that, Kevin, on the next show, if you want a donation reward, you should chug a glass of baby formula.
Brother, I ain't doing that. I ain't buying no damn baby formula.
Are you committed to this show's success?
I'm drinking freaking Pedialyte.
Yeah, what's the difference between that and baby formula?
There's a huge difference.
No, really?
There's a huge difference. Pedialyte is like is actual like nourishment for infants.
I'll tell you what, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I would Venmo you $20 to drink a glass of baby formula.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, man.
No. It's gonna be more. Listen, the podcast. If I'm gonna defile or embarrass myself, it's gonna be for more than $20. Like we'll have to discuss
what about 40? What about 40? What about 40?
No. We'll figure this out at a different point. The sun never sets on the Jewish Empire. Yeah. and we'll figure out a dollar amount, and then we'll look at the baby formula, and I'll chug some baby formula.
All right. Hold on. Pause. Ralph, how much for you to chug baby formula on this show?
I mean,
Ralph's like $5.
Get us to 150 tonight. I'll get Sally to get the Pediasure out the fridge. And we'll just finish. We'll wrap it up, man. I will say this though, Pediasure.
You mean Pedialyte? What is Pediasure? Is that the same thing?
Pediasure is it's like what? It's like not baby formula for infants, but it's like kids that are like 3 to 7. You like give it to them for like vitamins and minerals when they don't want to eat anything. Which might
you mean like kid. Pedialyte? No,
it's different. It's more like it's not like water. It's more like on the milk spectrum.
Oh,
and let me tell you something. During the pandemic, baby formula and Pediasure, I saw women throw down and fight each other in the Costco over it during the height of the pandemic because it was so hard to get. They limit you to one case at Costco. Still, by the way, Pediasure is like liquid gold, apparently. But
I don't know why the prospect of someone sucking down a glass of Enfamil just is hilarious.
Get it to 150 tonight. I'll do it. I don't care. We gotta make sure the podcast is always striving to be better. We want to keep on the path that we are. We want to stay true to our brand, and I'll do it. I'm a whore for money. So listen. Michael Thomas. To me though, it's great news that he's back. He's practicing. The vibes feel good, Andrew. I don't want to be a vibes guy, but the vibes felt good today.
That's my job.
The vibes felt good. Yeah. Look, I
we
think
vibing.
We're vibing, yeah.
I think overall, I've been looking at this a lot lately, just like the roster, the holes, like how I feel about the team. Obviously, the OTA reports, you take that with a grain of salt, right? Like a lot of key guys are missing, and as long as they're on schedule to be ready to go for day one of training camp, that doesn't really matter. And then it's really about how does training camp unfold? Who gets injured then? How is preseason going? Like those are way bigger precursors to how you can expect the season to go than what's happening right now.
Can we ever remember like a Saints player being horrifically bad at minicamp and OTAs? Like I can't.
I mean, I'm sure there were. I'm sure that happened. I mean, we've since heard of how bad Marcus Colston was.
The only one I can ever remember,
Jean-Baptiste, maybe.
And this is pre-podcast, but when Ditka became the coach, like everybody was just super fired up. This, late 90s, and me and my buddy were like, "Oh man, Ditka's the coach. We're gonna go out and see minicamp with the Saints." And Heath Schuler was doing the 7-on-7s, and he went incomplete, scramble. And my friend looked at me and he goes, I thought in 7-on-7 the ball is never supposed to touch the ground if you're a good quarterback. So that was a red flag, but that's the only one I can think of. And Heath Schuler, of course, was terrible. So like it's all sunshines and rainbows in OTAs. But Andrew, it was not sunshine and rainbows when Nick Underhill asked Dennis Allen one question. He asked Dennis Allen about Hard Knocks because the Saints and the Jets and a couple other teams are like finalists for Hard Knocks. You could smell the fear in Dennis Allen's voice when he was asked about Hard Knocks. Thomas, play that.
Seems like it'd be forced on the Hard Knocks. How would you just feel about that if it was the Saints?
I wouldn't like it.
Why not?
Because I just want to focus on our football team and getting better.
And
any distractions are exactly that. They're just distractions that keep you from ultimately reaching your goal.
I mean, that face, Andrew, he looked like he just saw somebody drown in a lake.
He's kind of a fence rider too. So when he says something that emphatically, you're like, yeah, I don't know. I paid attention to that. I'm like, oh, shit.
He doesn't want to be on Hard Knocks.
No, he does not. Which honestly, like, I'm not joking here. Like, I want that to happen.
Oh, I
watched that video. It makes me want it more. Because like on some level, like, obviously I want the Saints to win. So I don't want to disrespect Dennis Allen and be like, you don't know what's best for the team. I do. This should happen. But like,
I want content.
I kind of want to look at it as, if you're as amazing as the Saints think you are, as you think you are, and if you're going to prove everybody wrong, what better way to do it than facing the adversity of cameras in your locker room and winning anyway? So I kind of view it as like, let's move the goalposts. Let's make it even harder. And if you accomplish that mountain, then I'm going to point and laugh at everyone who hated you. But on the other side of it, it's like, look, if you're going to go 3-13, I want the front row seat, baby.
That's right. Well, that's what I said, Kevin. People were yelling at me as like, you can't, the Saints, they can't handle the distractions and nobody wins on Hard Knocks. These are people that hate Dennis Allen. And I'm like, dude, bro, you hate Dennis Allen and yet you're coddling him and you're like, we can't risk, cameras will ruin the 2023 Saints. I'm like, hey, if Dennis Allen can't handle NFL Films cameras in training camp, we're already dead and the season is already screwed.
Here's how I feel about this, and Kevin, you tell me if I'm wrong. Unless you're going to take the position of like some weird double negative where I hate Dennis Allen hates this, therefore it should happen kind of thing. I think you need, as a fan of the Saints, if you're one of those people on Twitter or that's been listening to this podcast, or just a Saints fan out there in the community shouting from the rooftops, fire DA, if that's been your whole mantra for the last 12 plus weeks, then, and Dennis Allen has just come out publicly and said, I don't want this. Keep these cameras out of my building. I don't want to be on NFL Network. Or sorry, what is it? HBO Max? Yeah, HBO.
Max now. It would be Max now. Yeah.
I mean, if you hate Dennis and you're one of those fire DA guys, he's basically told you should root for this in no uncertain terms. Kevin, I know you got chicken in your mouth, but you got something you need to say?
Okay. So I went and researched the teams on Hard Knocks and how they did.
Oh, boy.
On the season.
Is it good?
Less than 500. So I could confirm 7 of the teams that went on Hard Knocks made the playoffs.
That's not bad.
Well, at least 7. There have been, Christ's sake, where the hell is my?
The 2010 Jets
there have been
good,
19. Right? There have been 19 seasons or 19 teams on Hard Knocks.
Wow,
so seven made it, 12 didn't.
Well, 7 definitely made it. I can't remember if I don't think the 2022 Lions made it.
No, they didn't.
So then that would be another one that. So then that would be another one that didn't make it.
Yeah.
The 2021 Colts did not qualify. Okay, so then that's definitely another one. And then make sure, they made it.
I mean, but here's the thing, Kevin. Like, if the Saints,
so it definitely seems like it's 7 and 12 for teams that made the postseason and didn't. And of the teams that didn't make the postseason, nearly all of them, with the exception of the Lions and maybe the Chargers, were abysmal.
Oh, Mo. Oh, no.
Well,
I'm talking like 5 and 11. I'm talking like 5 and 11 and worse.
I'm kind of like at a place. So what I'm getting at with my previous comment is like, either make the mountain so high to climb and Dennis Allen climbs it anyway, that he's defied all the odds. That would be epic. But also, like, if you're going to fail, just go ahead and leave no doubt. Like, I don't think any of us can put up with another 7-9 season where he's kind of like, cliffhanging, hanging on the edge of the cliff. And he's like, maybe he won't get fired. Maybe he'll stick around another year.
We'll have even more, Andrew, we'll have even more ammunition because the Dennis Allen hater people, which you may even converts. I mean, he may look really bad for Hard Knocks, and we'll go back to Hard Knocks, and we'll be like, remember when Dennis Allen did A, B, and C? That was a telltale sign that he was awful, and we knew it. And we watched Hard Knocks, and they didn't have this. They didn't have the food table ready or whatever. Or he did the ice cream truck after practice, and they didn't have the ice cream. It was melted. They picked the bad ice cream truck. That shows Dennis Allen's not a leader. We knew it back on Hard Knocks. Of course, they were going 6-11.
Another scenario we haven't discussed here that would be hilarious is imagine the Saints get Hard Knocks and Dennis Allen's behavior confirms everything that DA haters think. He's dumb. He says stupid things in the media. He's not well spoken. He gives trite and just canned answers to everything. He shows no personality. So
Even
he confirms behind the scenes, like confirms everything that people think. DA ain't it. And inexplicably they start winning.
That's
That would be a great scenario. or vice versa. Or the flip side. Like, you know what? DA's really convinced me he's a good dude. You know, all of a sudden you get all the behind the scenes stuff and you're like,
right.
Man,
you think he's awesome all of a sudden, and they're like 3-14. I'm kind of here for that too.
What's the more fun scenario, Kevin? I mean, winning's always fun, but the
team winning.
Right. The more fun scenario is Dennis Allen looking like an absolute fraud in Hard Knocks, training camp, preseason, the whole thing. Like, absolute tire fire. He's already starting. The seat is boiling that he's sitting on going into game one. And the Saints just rattle off. They go 5-1 to start the season. And all of a sudden it's like, well, what do we do? I don't know. What are we doing now? Who cares? The Saints are winning. I don't care if Dennis Allen looks like a deer in headlights on the sideline when it's 4th and inches. I don't care. The Saints are winning. So
my dream, Andrew, is to write a column, maybe for patrons only, 1,500 words. Coaching doesn't matter. The Saints are 9-1 because Dennis Allen is a total.
You know what's funny about those like dug-in DA people is like, you know, the internet's got plenty of them, but we all have that one friend who has that weird opinion about that one guy who sucks, and it's almost like Barry McCogner about Tom Brady. It's like, some of these guys, they're just dug in and like they may go dormant for a while. They may not say anything for a while, but they wait. They wait for that one pick in that one game. And see, I told you the guy sucks.
Yeah.
He could go on a run like Tom Brady where he wins 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. But the second he gets a favorable call, you're back to your shtick.
That's my mom with DA. She hates DA. I mean, if they get on Hard Knocks, I might have to get her a Max subscription so she can watch it, and she can literally hate watch DA behind the scenes every week.
By the way, quick shout outs to the Ulrich family who says hello, and more importantly, Jerry, who has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Jerry.
Hello, Jerry.
So, Thomas, do you have a donations update? Am I gonna have to drink the Underberg?
Well, I don't know. We had a few donations though. Gator 3600 has subscribed for free with Amazon Prime, and
thank you.
Thanks to Biloxi Blues for 200 bits.
Thank you, Biloxi Blues. And by the way, my wife has all the shirts mailed out for all the $12 t-shirt tier people. Thanks for supporting us. You'll be getting those in the next week or so, depending on where you are. And we ship all over the world. We're shipping to Scotland, New Zealand, Australia. So thanks to all the people that are on the t-shirt tier.
Poland.
And we'll ship to Poland. I mean, you know, it might have to get like, you know, you might have to, once we get to the border of Poland, it might have to be like a wagon and then a carrier pigeon and then like a and then a horse-drawn carriage. But
have we mailed our swag to every continent except Antarctica?
That's correct. That's
incredible.
Even Australia?
Yeah, Australia.
Yeah.
We've even
come on, Nick Knight.
We've done multiple. Nick
Knight's like our most loyal, awesome listener.
Yeah, we've done multiple.
What about
African
Asia?
countries.
What about Asia?
Oh, Asia too. And we've done Asia. We've done Turkey, and we've done like 2 or 3 countries in Africa. Like we're good.
We gotta find some penguin researcher at like Ice Station Zebra or whatever the hell they call it. That's like 100 miles off the tip of Argentina there.
You know, we sent some swag to Malta. You know that.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah,
right.
That hell. I mean, it's either Saints Happy Hour swag or Buffalo Bills championship swag. I mean, that's where all of it is. It's in Malta.
Yeah. It's in Malta
and Uganda.
And I still got to get if people want the boys are back cups with the Jarvis Landry on one side and Honey Badger on the other. I still got a lot of those from the live show. So listen, I was arguing with people on Twitter over the weekend, and it got me to thinking, Andrew.
So regular day.
Regular day. No, it was a little heated. People were getting heated at me.
Problems with aggression.
That's right. But it got me to thinking, Andrew, what Saints player is under the most pressure, and what Saints player are we most interested to watch in training camp? And I wanted us all to answer, because I think it's two separate questions, right? And it got me to thinking about these questions as we go into 2023. So where do you start? Like, what player do you think is under the most pressure?
Well, first of all, I love that Andrews Pete has already made an appearance, as has Michael Thomas in these freeze frames, and then now you see Peyton Turner.
Why Thomas is the best. That's why Thomas.
I thought about Peyton Turner, but man, at this point I feel like he's got the bust label. So if anything, that's the assumption, and he's got to change the narrative. I think the biggest pressure is on Derek Carr.
Oh, really?
I know that feels like a cop-out, but I feel that way for a couple reasons. First of all, Carr, or David, if you're Ralph, but Carr is one of those guys where, first of all, he's kind of attached to Dennis Allen. And Dennis Allen, we just talked about this, like a lot of fans don't like him. And so there's an association there where he's kind of Dennis Allen's boy. And there's an attachment there where, like, if fans already want Dennis Allen out. So I just feel like if it goes off the rails early, he's going to immediately be associated with Dennis Allen, and people are going to want him out of there. So I'm just saying, if he starts slow, he has 2 touchdowns and 5 picks in 2 games, and the Saints are 0-2. I think fans turn on him very quickly. And the second thing I was going to say is, I don't think this Jameis Winston dynamic is good for the Saints. I mean, I think he's saying all the right things in the media, and I understand the reasons why they did it financially. And you could do a lot worse than Jameis Winston as your backup quarterback. But given what transpired in the last year, and given the fact that, like, you just hired a new QB who's taking over for a guy that was the starter last year, and the starter stays, like, to me, that's just not a good dynamic to have.
How much of the Jameis stuff is completely online and his paid propaganda, Pravda people? How much of it is that, Andrew? And how much of it is, like, the locker room? Like, when they went to Andy Dalton last year, we didn't hear about...
Yeah, no one protested. Yeah.
No one was like, give me Jameis. Jameis is our quarterback.
I think most people in the building are excited about Derek Carr. Like, I know Michael Thomas was like, he wasn't like, let's go back to Jameis. He was like, hell yeah, we just got Derek Carr. So
he was campaigning for Carr. I know it feels like 100 years ago, but February, Michael Thomas was like,
it's not like Michael Thomas was beating down the drum of let's keep Jameis as starter, but I think in a vacuum, he's fine as a backup. Thank you, Tariq. In a vacuum, he's fine. But no, I don't think it's a good situation for the Saints. And I think, again, you've got this very, I would say, a small percentage of the fan base, but a really vocal one that is after Jameis Winston is starter. And I just feel like one bad game from Carr and people are, going to be ready to go nuts and clamor for Jameis.
One more thing before Andrew gets to the players he's most excited about, Kevin. I was thinking about this when he said Derek Carr and David. That's mean, Thomas. I did that just for me to trick me. But I was thinking about this, Kevin, I was thinking there's not that much pressure on Derek Carr because they signed him. It's a 2 or 3 year deal. They're not going to cut him after 1 year. But I was thinking, if it goes really bad, for DA, right? And it goes off the rails, which we don't think it would. But what if the Saints go 5-12 and it goes completely off the rails and the Saints are like, DA, bye-bye, because Derek Carr and DA are connected at the hip, maybe there is even more pressure on him than I first imagined. So do you think that that's, at least, Andrew, that's for Andrew, that's not a cop-out choice for Andrew, Kevin? Do you think my theory that it's there might be more pressure on Derek Carr than I think? Is that a good theory?
I respectfully disagree with the distinguished gentleman from the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Here we go.
I think that Derek Carr, the pressure on Derek Carr only happens if the Saints are crap this year and he doesn't play up to snuff. Because, if Dennis Allen would get canned and then you're bringing in a new coach, so then the pressure becomes, well, you got this $100 million quarterback and all this money and resources invested in this guy, and now he's got to make it work. He would have to be making it work with a new head coach. Then the pressure is on Derek Carr. So I don't buy that the pressure's on Derek Carr. Like, he'll get criticized if he's playing like ass and the Saints go 0-3 to start the year or whatever. But
go 0-3, Lord.
But pressure,
they lose.
I don't think so.
I feel like this is an all-in decision to bring.
I mean, here's the thing: they play Tennessee
I disagree.
first. If they lose to Tennessee, man, the pressure. I wanna bang on Juge for that pick because it's easy. But the more I think about it, I look at the schedule. I'm like,
yeah, it's spot on. Let's be honest.
So
now,
what player
I
you
also had another part of the graphic that I had that I wanted to talk about was I forgot to mention who I'm most excited about. We didn't talk about that, but
we're getting that.
Well, these picks should be it was part of the graphic, so I assume I need to talk about it now. But I have two players. I think you were only supposed to pick one, but
you picked two.
I got greedy here, and I can't pick my favorite kid.
Oh, here we go.
I've got to be fair.
It always comes back to this.
Every parent has a favorite child.
So Rashid Shaheed and inmate number 96 as Thomas has it here. But I'm excited for both. I'm really excited to see if Rashid Shaheed can make that jump, that big jump to, like, he's already an explosive guy in the NFL, but can he make that jump to being a star? I feel like it either happens for him now or he's kind of forever just a big play guy.
What?
So I think this is a season where he either makes that jump and he's like a superstar in the league, or he's just like a fast receiver and that's really all he's got. What? And then with Granderson, I look at him as this is his shot to start this year. Davenport's gone. He'll have some competition with Passanio and Turner and Foskey, but really it's his job to lose.
He can make some money too. He can make some money, right? His contract's up after this year.
Yeah.
He gets even 7+ sacks. I mean, look, Caden Ellis got $21 million because he had 7 sacks. 4 of them were in 2 games. But we'll see. My question to you, Andrew, on your adopted UDFA son, Rashid Shaheed, what is realistic for him? And that I feel like the hype for him is out of control. He basically had a little bit better season than Brandon Coleman did, another UDFA Saints receiver. He basically had a little bit better
but it was so much more fun.
It was more fun because he scored. But that's my point. What is a realistic season for him where he not necessarily explodes and becomes an all-pro and we're like, oh my God, the Saints found an all-pro a Pro Bowl receiver as a UDFA. Not that, but really solidifies his NFL career. What's a fair season for him to do that you'll be really excited about? And you'll be like, he's going to be an NFL player for 5 to 10 years because of where he is now after 2023.
Well, I think you got to look at the floor as Deontay Harris. Where basically he's just a deep threat. That's it. And he can return some kicks. I think he's already there. I think worst case scenario, he's Deontay Hardy, Deontay Harris, whatever you want to call him. Like he's that. And you know, but that may not sound great, but like in 2021, Deontay Hardy had 30. He was Deontay Harris back then. He had 36 catches, 570 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
No, it's good.
So I kind of view Shaheed like I see 36 catches, 570, 15 and a half yards per catch, 3 touchdowns. Like, to me, that looks like the floor.
And also, too, before we get to Kevin's picks of under pressure and most excited, the one thing I will say about Deontay Hardy / when he was Deontay Harris in 2020, we forget about it, Andrew, because of Jared Cook fumbling. Jared Cook fumbling, right? We forget that just totally that's all we remember from the Tampa game, right? But
why you got to bring that up?
Before that happened, Deontay Harris was cooking Tampa, had a punt return for a touchdown that got called back on a penalty. So he was a critical piece. Like, I feel like if he wouldn't have got injured in that game, the Saints probably would have won because Tampa had no answer for him. So could Shaheed become that, like a critical piece by the end of the year where he's an integral part of the offense?
What do you think, Kevin?
Man, I'm looking up information here elsewhere, and hang on, he said you. He was asking you that.
I know. Kevin, I was just making sure you were paying attention.
Yeah, Kevin's looking up.
Paying attention. I'm looking up other things here, man.
Yeah, well, Kevin, it's your turn. It's your turn. Who's your most under pressure?
This is
and who's your most? Or are we going to me first, Thomas?
No.
We're
going
to Kevin. Damn it.
Kevin first. You go last, Ralph.
We go to me because I have a bone to pick here with you.
Oh, with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So go on ahead, Tomas, and show the graphic.
So show the graphic, Thomas.
Yeah. So what you'll notice.
That's Kevin's.
So what you'll notice is on the right there, it says most excited. Now, I'm going to blow this up, this text message that I got.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
Oh, damn.
Hang on. I'm going to try and blow this up so I'm not showing Ralph's answers here.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Should I play the breaking news siren?
No. I want you to see if you can see that.
It says, "Hey," for those of you that can't or that aren't watching. It says, "Hey," it says, "Hey, Kevin and Andrew, for Tuesday's show, have answers to these 2 questions: Saints player under most pressure in 2023, and player you're the most interested to watch during training camp."
Yeah.
Most interested is not most excited. That is my point.
Well, don't blame me, blame the producer. I'm throwing Thomas under the bus.
Yeah, it sounds like the left hand wasn't talking to the right here.
I'll throw Thomas under the bus. Sorry, Thomas.
Or it sounds like the bad hand was talking to what it was the bad hand that did that.
That's over the line. God, that's over the line.
Okay.
Ambushed by foul invention.
What?
Okay.
What is that?
Tomas is just finding these clips and just peppering, just sauteing us in them. Okay, so under pressure.
He's been waiting months to play that properly.
Under pressure, I went with Nathan Shepard. The defensive tackle.
You know what? That answer explains to me all I need to know about why I missed last week's show and everyone was lamenting my absence. That answer right there. You just picked Nathan Shepard. No wonder our listeners couldn't handle me not being here.
No one cares.
Well, they had to listen to me rant about John Gruden for 10 minutes, and that was enough for a lot of people. And listen, I agree with everybody that was saying we miss Juge and Dave. Yes, I agree. Get Juge and Dave back on here. Anyway,
Dave, some fancy
under pressure. Yeah, Dave's at some bougie dinner somewhere. I don't know.
I feel like you're here all the time now. Yeah. Kevin, I feel like Dave is the one that should become. Is Dave even on the show tonight?
That's right.
I feel like the script has been flipped.
It's flipped and it's weird. Kevin knows about players. He knows the roster better than me. He's on the daily show all the time. It's very
Dave doesn't blog anymore. Look, I would speculate that Kevin is ahead of Dave at this point.
I think Dave probably barely knows who Derek Carr is at this point. Barely.
Look, anyway,
His name is
Nathan
Derek.
Shepard. Nathan Shepard signed with the team in the offseason. He got brought in 5 years with the Jets, there for depth. And then what does the team do? Well, they bring him in with, I was looking at the other
Sanders.
fellow. Colin Sanders, thank you.
That's right.
But then what does the team do? They draft Brian Bresee and and they're sitting ahead of Malcolm Roach on the depth chart. Nathan Shepard, I believe, has the most pressure on him because Bresee is the guy that's sitting underneath him.
That's interesting. Well, I think
Bresee was the Saints' top pick in the draft. All the shenanigans about the draft and waiting for whoever to fall to them and this and that. They got Bresee. You're not going to stick that guy on the bench for the entire year. That's not happening. You can take a flyer on an offensive player and say, oh, he'll be, he can be fourth on the depth chart or this guy can be like a redshirt quarterback and all that kind of stuff and just hold a clipboard or whatever. You can make that make sense. Defense, there's going to be guys coming and going all the time, schemes getting changed up, packages getting changed up, alignments, this and that. So Bresee is going to see playing time. From the word go, Nathan Shepard is going to be fighting for his job as the top guy.
That's interesting.
At defensive tackle.
It's interesting. No, Kevin.
As much as stupid as this pick is, and I maintain that it's stupid. Kevin almost had me sold there.
He's coherent. His point was coherent.
Yeah, it's stupid, but it makes sense.
It makes sense. I thought
I'm kind of feeling this pick.
I don't like Kevin having coherent football takes. I was thinking it was going to be complete nonsense, but now, Kevin, you got me thinking about it, that it really matters. And kind of the Saints' run defense kind of stunk last year, especially by their standards, like just being below average. I mean, people talk about the Saints' pass defense. Are like, their pass defense, they only gave up the third fewest yards. And I was like, they did that because everybody was running the ball down their throat at the end of the year. I thought you were going to go more of Nathan Shepard better be good, so the run defense is good. But your Bresee take was like another level up. And I don't like Kevin having coherent football takes. It discombobulates me. It makes me feel uneasy. I like it better when he's just ranting and raving about John Gruden. Andrew,
I got to tell you this, and it really pains me to say this. I feel disgusted with myself that I have to admit this in a moment of weakness and darkness.
Oh God.
But I kind of miss Dave right now.
Well,
here's the thing. The most excited player that Kevin picked is Smoke Monday. So I've been really enjoying this podcast with no Dave. It's been very relaxing. We haven't had to put up with bathroom breaks. We haven't had to put up with interruptions. We haven't had to put up with just shouting over us. But now that Kevin sits here and picks Smoke Monday as the player that excites him the most, like Dave's reaction, I need it in my veins.
Did you purposely shiv Dave because he's not here, and you knew you could just crap all over him because he's not here? Is that the reason you picked Smoke Monday, or do you have a legitimate football reason?
No. I picked Smoke Monday, thinking, okay, this is a out of left field answer, just like Nathan Shepard. And I was kind of hoping Dave would have been here so I could see Dave's happy face in his part of that. But instead, he's hanging out in Nashville with the Swifties and Jeff Jarrett and some other people. Maybe he's going to tour the Grand Ole Opry. I don't know. But
that's disgusting.
But I went with Smoke Monday ACL injury, misses it all. He's now at the back end of the depth chart. He's not surpassing Marcus May unless that happens.
Jail.
And I held my hands together
Jail
like
time.
I'm handcuffed. So he ain't gonna pass him unless something with that happens. He's likely not passing Honey Badger. I say likely as in most likely not. So he's got to worry about beating Jonathan Abram, JT Gray, and Jordan Howden, who they just drafted. I am interested.
And the media is gushing over Howden, by the way.
I am
Gushing
interested
over
to
him.
see.
He's screwed.
Interested, not excited. Interested, per Ralph's question. How Smoke Monday handles another guy being drafted as a safety. Now, granted, Jordan Howden's being listed as a strong safety, but I'm interested in seeing how that goes.
Sorensen.
So, Smoke Monday.
How do you guys think Dave reacts to this answer by Kevin? That's what I want to know. Do you think he's pissed right now? Do you think he's like, that was my answer, you stole it from me, I hate you, Kevin? You think it's that, or do you think, or do you think he's more like, thank you, finally someone understands me, and he actually?
No, he's going to be complete. The group text tomorrow or Thursday when he listens to the podcast. Complete rage, complete rage. Emojis, screaming, 4-letter bombs. It'll just be yes. He'll be like William Wallace and Braveheart come next Tuesday on the.
I want to see. I just want to see how he handles coming back from injury, knowing he didn't play anything. He did not play.
That's right.
And there was a lot of excitement last year leading up to him in training camp. We thought, good, this is a guy. We need the depth.
The Saints happy hour curse might be real.
And then he gets hurt. Now we draft another safety. Now there's some other guys ahead of him on the depth chart. I want to see if Smoke Monday can bring that fight.
Bring the smoke.
No, can bring the smoke. The guy got ejected in his final collegiate game.
That's right.
He was still amped up in his final college game. The guy was still playing with piss and vinegar.
Andrew's dad says he's getting my smoke. I'm getting my Smoke Monday T-shirt out tonight to sleep in.
Yes,
that's right.
He does have a Smoke Monday T-shirt.
That's
I've
right.
seen it.
The Smoke Monday T-shirt, man.
Triple XL.
Tell me it's like a quadruple XL, and he looks like Mariah Carey in that Jordan dress.
Triple X.
Kids, you should have got it while it was hot. My picks now, compared to Kevin and Andrew, seem really lame, but that's par for the course, probably. So, Thomas, let's get to mine. So my pick was Thick Underhill. You gotta go. Trevor Penning. He is going to be the most watched, scrutinized person in camp, Andrew, because people associate him with, whether it's fair or not, the Eagles picking 10th this year. Like, they associate Penning with that. And if your boy isn't practicing, that's a bad sign. If he's not playing and starting, people are going to be mad. They're already calling him a bust, which, I mean, is kind of unfair because he was hurt all last year. But then again, Peyton Turner was hurt his first year, and like by the end of camp last year, I'll be the first one. I was guilty. I was like, Peyton Turner, you're getting roasted in the fourth quarter of these preseason games against Green Bay. You look real busty. So, like, all it takes is, like, for one bad year and another bad training camp, we'll be calling him a bust. So I feel like Trevor Penning is under a lot of pressure just on that, Andrew. But also, like, the Saints need him to play well at left tackle. They kind of need better than what James Hurst gave them last year, I think. Or they should aspire to be that. So I think he's on Trevor Penning, a.k.a. Thick Underhill, is under a lot of pressure.
I'm on a funny text chain right now, completely unrelated. I'm changing the subject here. My buddy on a text chain goes, "Holy shit, Saudi Arabia just bought the PGA and half of soccer today."
They did.
And my other buddy writes back, "I think the Jaguars and Browns might be playing a game in Riyadh this season. The Saudi investment in sports in general has been insane.
I mean, I know people on this podcast don't follow soccer, but they are paying like washed over the hill soccer players $600, $700, $800 million.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and that's
they're
all.
Gonna
That's
buy our podcast next.
That's tax free, by the way. If you move to Saudi Arabia, it's tax free. So
it's tax free. Oh my god, it's tax free.
But anyway, getting back to your Penning question. Look, I think there's a lot of pressure on him. I think that's a pretty good answer. I mean, first of all, there's the injuries, and I think anytime you're injured your rookie year and you really had a chance to show nothing, you're quickly like behind the 8 ball, because not only did you not get to play, but you weren't practicing either. It's not like you were able to really get the mental reps.
It feels like, Andrew, not to tip your sources, but it really felt like last summer, the people that you were talking to in the building were like, we really like Penning, but he's got to practice. And like, I know that's true for a lot of players, but for him, it felt especially important. And he didn't do it last year, and he can't do it this offseason because he was in a boot.
First of all, I don't know if you guys realize that that's a picture of Nick Underhill.
It is. For
above Trevor Penning.
Audio-only version. You need to join us for the live stream. It's amazing. Thick Underhill.
What do you mean? What Nick Underhill? That's Trevor Penning.
Wait, is that Nick or Thick? I can't really tell.
He still fights that battle that he doesn't look like Trevor Penning, and it's just there's no one in his life that will agree with him. He looks like Trevor Penning. He is Trevor Penning. They might be the same person.
Yeah.
Nick, you need to just embrace it, my man. Just embrace it.
But here's the thing: like, if Penning sucks, the Saints have James Hurst.
For one more
and I know James Hurst is not ideal at left tackle, but he's competent. And so I just look at it as like, I kind of look at it as like, I'm trying to think of a rookie quarterback, like in Carolina, for example, like you don't
play Andy Dalton.
Yeah. Like you don't get to just suck or like the Jets where like, if you're terrible, like we'll go to Mike White. Like you don't just get to keep the job. Just because you were a high draft pick. So I feel like that's it with Penning. Like, that's the thing. Like, if he's not above a certain standard, they're not going to play him. They'll just keep playing Hurst.
My concern there is, Andrew, for the offensive line to be really good and feel really great about it. If Penning is good and is your left tackle, then Hurst is your main backup. And like when Pete gets hurt, when Ruiz gets hurt, or you need to sit Ramczyk because his knee is falling apart, like Hurst is the perfect backup. So it really makes the line, you feel great about it if Penning is playing and at least at Hurst's level last year, right? Or maybe a little bit better. So like, that's my concern with Penning. And also too, like the anti-Penning people hate him.
You hit your wire.
Yeah, I think you did. But I agree with Ralph. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm with you.
But so most excited, and I know this is a cop-out, but I'll preface it by saying this. Kendra, do you say, is it Andrew, is it Kendra or Kendre? Kendre Miller, basically on his own for TCU last year, probably kept me in my house. Like my gambling losses would have been historic last year without TCU winning games. So I am attached to him in an unhealthy way and his success. And I just feel like he's going to be really good. And he's going to be like Kamara in 2017, where not many that he's going to be as good, but he's going to be good enough. Kevin, in that first preseason game, he's going to get like 2 carries, have like 40 yards. And we're going to be like, that's enough for Miller in the preseason. We've seen enough. Put him back in the bubble wrap. We're good. So he's my guy I'm most excited about. And I'll be completely honest here. If he's a bust and a failure, I probably will never admit it just because he was so good to me in my college football gambling last year. So he's
well, you hit your wire at the tail end there, but it's fine. you won't have to worry about admitting it. I mean, we'll say it. And you just don't have to like recognize it or go along with it. That's the thing.
I think we kind of all feel like a running back, whether it's Miller or Williams, like a running back or Eno Benjamin, a running back not named Kamara that has a great season this year would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it would be. Well, and they need a running back because listen, Kamara is getting suspended for 6 games. Like that bill
we'll see
is
about
coming.
that.
You don't see.
Hey, how close are we to this shot, Ralph? To Ralph taking the shot?
Thomas, how close are we?
We are not halfway even.
Oh wow!
Oh Jesus!
I think that's an indictment on all these people last week that were given crap when it was just me and you, Ralph.
That's right.
Because it was, we missed Juge. We missed Dave. Why do we have to listen to Kevin rant? Why do we have to listen to Kevin say all these things, all these mean things about people? Blah, blah, blah. We need Juge back here.
Here come the donations. Kevin opens
the
his
Juge
mouth.
Empire. The Juge Empire.
Open the floodgate.
Yeah.
And here it comes. And then by this time last week. By this time last week, we had nearly the 10,000 mark reached.
That's
when
right.
it was just me and Ralph doing this, when it was literally Statler and Waldorf.
After the fact, he's like, don't talk about Gruden, talk about football, blah, 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 blah.
It was all of that. And it was, we need Juge back. We need Dave back in the closet. We need all of that to happen.
Thomas.
We get Juge back in here. We get the Juge Empire back and better than ever. And all of a sudden, it's you guys could barely muster 5,000. And then I start giving it to you. I start peppering you with some insults and giving you the Bobby Knight treatment. And now the little widgets or whatever the hell you call them, they start coming in.
Bubbling up.
Little widgets.
Bits, widgets, whatever.
So, Thomas.
Now up to 71.
It's right. So, Thomas, it's time for Take It to the Top. It's time for questions.
Well, wait, we don't do Take It to... Wait, I thought we did trivia.
No, trivia failed us, Bud Ridge.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get it.
That's it, John. Thanks,
man.
man.
We are getting close. We are getting close.
All right, Thomas, what's the first question?
And I thought you were getting off the hook, Rolf. Thanks, Hatchet John.
86.
Wow.
400 away. Damn.
What's the first question, Thomas?
Do we get it before the first question or not? Okay, first question. I saved first question from last week because I wanted to be at least Andrew or Dave present or both from Saint Stompicus. And he asks... Oh, there we go! Tararik with the buzzer beater. Ralph, after this question you are gonna drink. Whoever is the donation leader is gonna choose. Holy shit. Saint Stompicus asks, better expenditure of a podcast budget, a better cord/internet for Ralph, or a collar for Dave that would allow other hosts to shock him when he starts shouting over everyone else. If option number 2, how far into the first episode before paramedics have to be called?
Ooh, this is a great question. This is a great question. All-timer.
I definitely want a shock collar on Dave. In fact, I really in my heart believe that we would be famous if we had that on our show. That we would become viral.
That's
that
right.
our video would explode and we would never look back.
All we need is...
Dave should agree to do that for the sake of our popularity and success.
Well, here's the thing. I think the key to this question, though, Kevin, is every week you can't rile Dave. Like, Dave doesn't get riled up. And me and Andrew, we used to have, like, texting. We would be like, we got to get Dave riled up. I think it depends on, like, how the Saints do during the season. It would have to be during the season, and it would have to be either a big game where the Saints win or they lose, or something bad happens to Dave's fantasy team, or something bad happens to him at the game. So he just doesn't want to shut up and he constantly wants to talk about it. So like, what would it take for the paramedics to be called in? What scenario would it be?
Well, I mean, this is a time question. How far into the first episode? I think if there's a bad week at the 2,000 square foot t-shirt business that he runs, I think if the Saints lose a home game that he attends, or if it's a big win, I think you're looking maximum 12 minutes.
I feel like I've known Dave long enough to know that when he's had a bad day on the golf course, he kind of comes in raring to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also too, we are bad people, the three of us. So just the ability to shock him, he might not get through me. He might not get through the cold open.
I'm not even sure he needs to say something offensive.
No.
Just looking at his face. With motionless lips would be enough, I think, to make me want to shock.
And because he's bald, would it steam off his head?
That's why we can't have that power, is because we would be like the Simpsons in that episode where they're all strapped up, shocking each other for no damn reason.
Would we have to give the power to Thomas? Would Thomas have the? Because we can't give it to the page. We can't give it to the
think I would be in the chat. I think if Thomas had the power, I think I would stop interacting with you guys and spend my entire time on this show in the chat trying to convince Thomas to shock him.
We could give a 1,500 bits and you can shock Dave. One shock. I like that idea.
Ooh, we would get a lot of donations for that.
Okay,
gets the shock.
1,000 bits. Ralph drinks old booze. 2,000 bits. Dave. 2,000 bits. Dave gets shocked. 3,000 bits. I drink baby formula. 4,000 bits. Juge has to drink. Juge has to drink something gauche.
Ralph's piss.
What is gauche?
Wow. Oh,
what is that?
Tacky.
Yeah.
What's
tacky
next,
and not bougie.
What's next, Thomas?
Terror Rick in the chat said, "I am about to empty my bank account to shock Dave."
Man, that'd be amazing.
So I guess Ralph, you are drinking after the questions, right?
Well, no, I'll drink. It's time to drink, so I'll drink right now.
Yeah,
Which one's he doing?
So many donations in a row that I also almost lost count. Like so many donations. Thanks to Tiger Saint, thanks to Terror Rick, thanks to Andrew, to Tiger Saint again, Saints Rabbit, Bookham Dano, and the Wickham Man. And the MVP leader right now is Hatchet John with 3,100 bits right behind him. Tiger Saint 2,800. So I guess Hatchet John.
What am I going to drink?
Hatchet John, what do we pick? Choice is yours, man.
Am I drinking the Underberg?
Hold it up higher.
Or the Underberg.
Oh, damn.
Hold it with your good arm, Ralph.
That is the good arm.
There won't be a choice in a second.
That's Largo Bay. All right. Hatchet John wants you to go Underberg to do that. Take it to the face.
You hit the wire.
Don't hit the wire and take it to the face. Remember, don't
say
sip.
your prayers, guys. Let's hope he survives.
No sipping, Ralph.
No simping.
Oh, no sipping.
There you go. Take it right down the hatchet, John.
Okay.
Down the hatchet, John.
It smells like I don't even know. It smells bad. You know, like when you go to a urinal and you can smell the urinal cake. It smells like a urinal cake. I think.
Is this the one that you got from Nikolai?
Yeah, this is from Nikolai. It says, "Do not sip. Use this flavoring. Use after." And it says 3 different times on the bottle to take after a good meal. I have not eaten today. I'm scared.
Oh, damn.
Wait, lean back a little. Lean back. You're like right up in front of the... Yeah, there we go. So now we can see...
Why have you not eaten today? Is that like a fasting
I
thing?
mean, no, I had breakfast, but I was running around and my kid had soccer practice and I got home late and I just had to set up for the podcast and, I just didn't eat. So
here we go.
Let's hope you survive, man.
Oh, he sipped it. He sipped it.
Oh my God. Oh, God, dude, oh God, I gotta finish it. I couldn't finish. It came back up. Oh,
That's a sip, man.
Ears,
Kevin, he sipped
blurred
it.
vision.
He freaking
The end
sipped it.
approaches.
oh, I tried not to, and
He sipped it, Ralph.
no, it. Oh God, no, literally, Andrew. It went down and it came back up and I forced it back down. Oh my God. Nikolai, that is mean.
Send more. Send more, Nikolai. Find wherever you find it.
It doesn't cleanse your palate and it hangs in your mouth. Like somebody do a shot and you're like, it's okay. This like hangs in your mouth. Like, why would you drink this after a meal? Like, why? Oh my God. I thought the Kummerling last week was bad, and it was. But this.
Is that the worst one you've had so far?
This one scared me because I couldn't finish it. It literally started to come back up. This one is. Kummerling tasted the worst. This one scared me because it actually came back up. And I don't know if you saw on the video,
yeah.
like, it started to come back out. I had to like force it back. Ugh. Freaking terrible.
Saints Rabbit, seriously, go to that Rouse's and grab a few. Just pick a bunch.
So are you doing the other one now? The pineapple run?
No,
that was
no,
cute.
no,
That was cute that you picked one, but go do the other one now.
No. That's part of the gimmick now. Is whoever donates
wins,
the most when we cross the thing gets to pick the one.
And I drink.
Well, so he's not doing two anymore?
No, we got to pace him out.
I almost want to do this one to clean out
don't.
Thunderbird. Oh my God.
Don't.
This is horrible. Thomas, what's next? Next question. Oh my God. Awful.
All right, next question. It took us a while to get here. From Don Checo, would you rather the Saints keep Jesse James, the tight end, or sign Jesse James, the singer, and Eric Decker is a package deal?
Ooh, how old is Eric Decker? Oh my.
Find that out.
I appreciated this question. I thought it was a funny joke.
Eric Decker, 36.
You know what's interesting is the Saints looked at Jesse James 2 years ago, I think, and he ended up signing at the time, I think, with where was he most recently? The Broncos. He's been with or the Browns. He was the Browns.
Yeah, Browns.
Yeah. But the Saints looked to sign him a couple years ago, and I think they liked him. And I mean, it didn't work out. So I know that was a guy they played around with in free agency in the past, and so it doesn't surprise me that they brought him this time around. But look, like the guys that they try to get, that they didn't land, they go somewhere else, and then they get kicked away from that place, and then the Saints pick them up. Like that never works out well.
That's right.
Like the immediate thought that comes to mind is Paul Kruger, who they pursued in free agency. He got cut a couple of years later. They signed him. He was awful. So I don't know. This feels like that.
It's Nikolai. Me and you have to have a talk about that. I think. My God, I think Nikolai.
And you're still complaining about that?
It's horrible. It's like, ugh. I want to do this other shot so bad just to get.
You guys need to send Ralph a new drink.
Ugh.
Make it worse.
Next? What's next, Thomas? I love the patients, but I hate them.
Don't
but
die,
DMs are
Ralph.
open. I'll drink anything, even poison.
Okay, next question from Badrich, the trivia master. He asks, "What's a Saints game that sits rent-free in your head?"
That would mean that it's really bad, right?
No. It can be anything.
It could be good.
Mm.
You know, one game that I go back to that's really fun is the 2017 Washington game. Like, I'll just randomly be like,
come back,
go to YouTube and watch the highlights, because it's that they won that game is completely ridiculous. Washington was ahead. They had like a 3rd and a yard. They couldn't get it. Kobe Fleener became unstoppable. Kamara bobbles the ball on the touchdown, scores anyway. Like, that game, the Saints just absolutely won that football game and had no business winning. They didn't deserve to win the game. They won anyway. Like, that game, I'll just every now and then I just go back to it on YouTube because it makes me happy.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, the losses, besides the Super Bowl when the Saints had, the losses kind of stick out to me a lot more than the wins, honestly. And we've had a lot of like playoff heartbreak. But, wow, it's funny. Daniel Dovell, I don't know if I said Dovell, I don't know how to pronounce that, but he said the Trevor Siemian blocked return extra point. Yeah, that was another horrible one. But if I have to go back to a win, this one might be kind of underrated. And we had Shane Graham, former Saints kicker, do open for us, and he actually references that game in his open. But one that sticks out to me that was really good is that playoff win in Philadelphia, because it's the only road football game the Saints have ever won. But they win at the buzzer on a game-winning field goal, and Shane Graham had a okay season, pretty good season for the Saints, but he
wasn't there all year, right? He was.
Yeah, that's Shane Graham's not a guy you talk about or think about as like a Saints legend, but he had a massive moment in Saints history, and he makes that walk-off field goal. Granted, it was a chip shot, but he still had to make it. And then Sean Payton makes the bus do 2 laps around the stadium to kind of rub the Eagles fans that were leaving the stadium and rub their nose in it. So I don't know, that game just kind of had everything, and that's a win I'll never forget.
Kevin.
November 30th, 2009. Saints 38, Patriots 17.
Oh, that's a good one.
What I remember the most about that game is Mike McKenzie literally coming back to the Saints from, I don't know where he was, off the street, and he has a pick. He picks off Tom Brady. First
Chris
game.
McAllister too came.
Yeah.
Let me see that.
The Saints were just we don't have any corners. We're just gonna, and they just house the Patriots.
Yeah, it was glorious. Drew Brees. 18 for 23, 371 yards, 5 touchdowns. Wow. He got sacked 1 time. Quarterback rating 158.3.
Yeah, it's the highest you can have, right?
Perfect game from Drew Brees at home in prime time, and the Patriots waved the white flag.
Right. That was the best part.
It was. And they did it not with 2 minutes left in the game. They did it with 9 minutes left in the game, 10 minutes left in the game. Belichick knew he was getting his ass beat in 2009. This was prime Belichick and Brady as a combo, and they got smashed. On national television by the ascending great offense. And it was everything you could want. It was it was a perfect culmination. Honestly, that's my favorite game. That's my favorite game of the entire regular season. More so than the wacky Redskins game. More so than the crazy Dolphins comeback. More so than the Giants game, I believe, where it was where Drew Brees and Eli were trading haymakers or something.
Yeah, that game. Yeah, the Kai Forbath field goal game.
Yeah. So give me that, man. 30.
Yeah, that's
30
a great.
There's a lot of Falcons ones too, like the Mike Smith 4th and 1, go for it. The Jimmy Graham bending the goalpost. The Drew Brees spin move overtime TD
where he broke the record against Atlanta on Monday night in 2011.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. The Julio copter.
so many Atlanta games.
No. Chris McAllister did not have a pick that night.
He played, though. Just him playing.
No. He did play, but he had one tackle.
McKenzie had a pick.
There were 2 picks. McKenzie had a pick, and the other guy had a pick.
Who's the other
He who
guy?
shall not be named.
Oh.
Against his old... Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, Thomas, what's next?
All right, final question of the show from Saints Rabbit, who's always very active in the question section on our patrons only Discord. He asks, what do you all see as realistic floors for the rest of the NFC South?
Well, this is a good question.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a good question.
Well, realistic floor. I mean, I think there are scenarios where, I mean, I guess I'll start with the Saints. Like, I think the Saints with Carr, like, their floor is pretty high. Like, I would say it's probably 7 wins, 6 or 7 wins. Yeah. And you know, even if he gets hurt, like you got Jameis, like I still think they're kind of in that zone. So I don't think the Saints can drop too far. I see scenarios with Carolina with Andy Dalton as the starter, although they would make a switch to Bryce Young pretty quickly, but you know, he might not be ready in year 1. So I could see a scenario where Desmond Ridder ain't it, and the Falcons like have no one else to go to. And I could see Tampa being legitimately horrible this year. Yeah. There's enough question marks in the NFC South at quarterback for all 3 of these teams. And I'm still not convinced that Atlanta's defense is any good. That remains to be seen. So, like, you know, I would say Carolina probably has the lowest floor because Dalton's pretty stable. Bryce Young could get good pretty quickly. I think that's a pretty solid team. So, like...
You mean the highest floor?
Yeah. Sorry, the highest floor. So, like, I would maybe put their floor at 6.
I agree with that.
But, like, Atlanta, like, yeah, everyone's talking up their offense. But, like, if their defense still sucks and Desmond Ridder's awful, like, I think their floor is 3 games. Yeah. And I think Tampa's floor is 3 games.
There's a world where Tampa and Atlanta are both in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
Yeah.
There's a,
I can see that.
I mean, because here's the thing: they got Tyler Heineke as the backup. And listen, as Andrew said, listen, Atlanta's made moves on defense, but Onyemata, he hasn't been good since he got off the juice. Caden Ellis, we like him for the Saints. 4 of those sacks are from 2 games. One of those games was against the Rams, where they had no offensive lineman. Maybe he's a 1-year fraud. They got Calais Campbell, who's 100 years old. Like, they're deep. They've done a lot of stuff on defense, but it kind of feels to me, Andrew, like Atlanta did the moves on defense that the Saints did in 2012 and 2014 and 2015, where they did the moves and we talked ourselves into them. Yeah. But looking back, it was all lies. It was Brandon Brown is going to be good. No, they signed all these linebackers in 2012.
Curtis Lofton and Chris Chamberlain and David Hawthorne. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. It's fine. It's great. And it wasn't. And their defensive coordinator, I know Saints fans think he's like, oh, they lost him, he's going to be good. But like the Saints feel so much better internally about their defensive staff now than they did last year. And we'll see about Nielsen on the defense. Yeah. We'll see if he's capable of running a defense. It'll be interesting.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
What is that?
What?
Incredible. I don't know. I love it. I love everything about it.
All right, come on. Is that the last question?
That was the last one. So, so Thomas, and I want to remind, hey, Amazon Primers, remember you can sub for free using Amazon Prime every month, not just once. It's a great way to support the show, and it doesn't cost you anything. Thomas, before we get out of here, give us the MVP roll call, the donation roll call, and final MVP tally.
Okay, so great show, guys, tonight. Tons of love. So the MVP for this show is Hatchet John with 3,100 bits. Right behind him, Tiger Saint with 2,800, and the third place, Andrew's dad with 1,500. Also thanks to Terroric, Saints Rabbit, Gator, 3,600, Biloxi Blues, Bookham Dano, to Andrew, and to the Wicker Man. We almost broke the record for separate donators.
Wow.
Which is 11.
Thank you, guys.
From 11 from last week, coincidentally.
Seriously, thank you. That's awesome.
So who knows, Hatchet John? Maybe you will get you have a chance to sit with us during one of the shows, right?
Maybe. That's right. We're excited. We have a bunch of fun stuff planned for training camp and the season. We have
Chad.
We're working on new swag items. We're working on new tiers. We're working on all kinds of new things and content that we're going to give patrons. That'll be patrons only. For people that support the show, it's gonna be an amazing year. Saints are gonna be good. 2023 is just gonna be freaking phenomenal all around. Podcast, Saints, all of it. So, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting Saints Happy Hour. Please go to saintshappyhour.com and become a patron if you're not, and support the show. We can't do it without you guys supporting us. I'm not going to thank Dave because he's not here. Thanks to Andrew. Thanks to Kevin. Thanks for Thomas, the best producer on earth, running the show back in Poland. And remember, kids, if you're going to support a Saints podcast, you ought to support the one that wins awards. Until next week, the bar is closed.